we've been talking about this for a long time, getting together and just shooting some stuff for break turn and showing people different things. So, what are we starting with? How do you want to start?
Man, let's dive right into it. I just kind of want to go through our bags. I think that's a good way to show, like, hey, what do you guys bring on the road? What do you think?
I mean, you wouldn't be an aviator if we didn't have our specialty bags and our sunglasses. So, yes. Who starts?
It's fancy. So I am in between jobs, so some of my bag's empty. But I'll go first. I'll just go over the quick setup of what I carry on like a normal 4-day. So I've got a nice Luggage Works bag, nice metal frame, aluminum frame, and then on my J hook that I use, looks like you got the stack over there.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
Aerocoast cooler, EFB bag, kind of all in one. Is what I use, and we'll dive right into it. What do you have?
So when you have your Luggage Works bag, it's a really popular one. So it's got the giant metal handle. It's very durable. It's got the J hook for you have your Aerocoast bag on there. That's a very popular airline pilot bag. Is it hold up good? What do you think about it?
Yeah, it holds up great. Honestly, I haven't really had any issues. Some of the aircraft may be a little tight in regards to overhead. You may have to put it on its top or something every once in a while, depending on how full the bag is. But I've had no issues. Cleaned the wheels once, I think. Just got some nasty airport gunk, but otherwise, it's been great. Lifetime warranty, so I'm not too worried about it.
There's a carbon fiber one out there. Is that one super expensive?
That's not this one.
Okay.
I got the aluminum one, so I went mid-tier.
Yeah,
so.
And isn't there because again, this for our folks, for people in break turn, the purpose of this is to say hey, we both came from the military, and it's hey, get a bag, and I'm I've got a bag from high school. Does that work? And it's you should probably get a pilot bag. So we're trying to just show everybody the different versions and flavors and just to kind of get some good reviews on them. But I remember looking at one of those, and there was an extended version, or you know what I'm talking about? Yes. It was the 7.3 or something, and then there was a longer one.
Yeah, so there's a couple different versions out there, and keep in mind, none of us are sponsored by any of these companies. We're just trying to,
Not yet.
Give the community here just a little bit of an honest review.
Yeah.
So there are different sizes. There's a 7.3 specific version that doesn't have some of the side pouches and stuff like that. This is just kind of the standard, again, middle of the road one that was really recommended to me, really just for durability, and that's what I was looking for.
Yeah,
was the durability.
I think the longer one vertically I looked at, but someone gave me a recommendation saying, again, this is all for education. That when if and when you're a commuter, that bag was a little bit too long for the straight-in overhead compartment and or underneath the jump seat storage bag receptacle in a 7.3 because it's smaller flight deck.
It is pretty specific.
Now, if you're a cargo person or, obviously you can lay it down horizontal, but then it's as a commuter, you'll find that overhead bin space is the worst part about commuting. So anyways, cool. All right. Well, I have the Briggs & Riley setup. I talked to my wife. It's a little bit pricey, but the reason I went with the Briggs & Riley is because it has the unconditional lifetime guarantee. It's also made in America,
nice.
So not to flex on
plug.
my Americanness.
I can't remember if this one is or not.
My socks are American too. So,
nice.
We thought 30-year career. I'm going to break this bag. It's a matter of time.
Yep.
So having that unconditional lifetime guarantee is good. So but for the rolly bag here, I like it. It's I got the 4 wheels, so I go with the tower strategy, which is
you're going down the aircraft like that too, down the aisle with your 20 bags stacked on each other.
I don't take my sunglasses off when I go in the airport, and I roll it like a gentleman, upright. No, I got the vertical one. The honest reason is because I really wanted this bag. I think I was in Denver at the time, going through ground school, and they only had the 4-wheel option. And in my mind, I'm you can still roll it as a 2-wheel bag. You can still lay it down and do it normal.
Yeah.
But I like the vertical because I watched a ton of people. They go to put their bag down with a bunch of jazz on the J hooks, and some of the flight attendants with their water bottles and such. It just falls over, or they have to lean it against a wall. So this is nice. It's freestanding, but
until it goes rolling down a hill on you and you're chasing it. But
I just I lean on it, when I'm in the airport. But yeah, the cockpit bad's on top. I guess I'll go to the next thing. So this is kind of a cool thing. This little retaining strap, instead of sliding it over the top, you just kind of rotate its little bungee cord, and then this will kind of come right off.
Nice.
But it's really external, I guess, carrying handle if you are. looking to do it that way. But yeah, the one thing neat about this, and I can break it open later if we want to show, I actually have this packed for a trip. So if folks wanted to see, not that we are all looking to self-glorify, but we're also trying to show like, hey, here's some things you could be thinking about as you go look to this industry. This thing will expand out, right, to pack it and get it real nice and full. Yeah. And then once you zip it up, you can actually cinch it back down, which I've found is useful because I like to bring all of my my makeup and all my shoes.
I can tell.
All my Lulu and of course. But yeah, my Patagucci. No, I'm not a peasant.
Oh, dude. Sorry.
You showed the cooler. What? Go with that.
Yeah, let's rapid fire this one. So let's do a I'll show you something out here, see what you got, maybe something similar. Let's start small.
So why do you need a cooler though? Like, doesn't the airport have food?
Great idea, or a great point. So the airport obviously has food. You can, generally speaking, fit that into your schedule as you're commuting around or flying the line or anything like that. But it's really not healthy for you in the long term. So and it's expensive. So
even with the crew discount,
10% off of $30 is still expensive. Yeah. So it's. Every once in a while, it's nice to get a hot meal that you don't have to microwave or anything. But really, a good cooler on a multi-day trip is awesome. So it's really just packed with food, save money, eat healthier, all the above.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why I got a good one. Mine's a little bit larger than yours, I think.
So I have a secret. So I used to actually, until I got this one recently, I had like a small 1 to 2 day cooler bag. It's a packet. You get it at Walmart. You freeze the whole cooler. And the walls are ice pack, right? That was fun. But for a longer trip, I would bring a straight up Yeti cooler, dude. Like it was about that big.
I've seen that on the line sometimes. Yeah. I don't know how people do that. I don't know.
It's a lot. And as a commuter,
that add to your 8 bags already.
Yeah, dude. I know. So I got this one. I actually call these type of bags the $200 bags.
They're
and the reason, they're not $200, but I call it the $200 bag because every time you go on a 4-day trip, you're saving about $200.
I can see that.
Like if you have, and we'll go through different examples, but like things to mix with your water, like a liquid IV or maybe instant coffee or, an emergency, right? Yep. What about food? What about breakfast? What about oatmeal? Like if you add it up over a 4-day trip, it would be easy to break 200 if you don't have that bag. So $200 bag.
All right. I'd agree with that. I think that's on point. And the one thing too I like about the overview of this bag is it's also got an EFB pouch kind of built in. So my company iPad fits great there too. So, it's kind of just, I drop my big bag off in the cabin and this is everything I bring to the flight deck for me.
Interesting.
So it's kind of all in one for me.
I see. That's why I have one more bag than you, because I have my flight deck bag.
There you go.
This is I don't even know. I actually got this recently because it was on one of my group texts sent it out. They were giving steep discounts. This is like, it's Andare, Andare. Sounds fancy, but it was like 80% off. Yeah, Andre, exactly. Oh, you made it. Your family made it. Yeah. I haven't had many reps with this yet, but the reason that I got it is because it can become a part of the stack. I didn't want to have to do the J hook.
Yeah.
I've been getting away with it, so it's been great. But the first thing I want to show, so again, as we depending on when we release these for everybody, what to buy your aviator for Christmas, right? So depending on when we release these, Christmas is coming up, and you're going to want to buy gifts. And a lot of these aren't individually expensive.
Yep.
So you can kind of get a bunch of these that are, I call them game changers because, you go from your home and you drive and you make your way to the gate and then you sit in a chair for 8 hours, known as the flight deck. These little creature comforts, and for all the people who have deployed out there, like it's the little things, man, and they make a big difference. So like, why not? So I've learned from others. So the first thing is this thing here. I got some granola bars if you want to eat some granola bars.
Oh, thanks. Maybe later.
I actually have a trip tomorrow. So the first thing I keep in the top here is it's called a Hot Logic. I don't know which camera is viewing who, but so what a Hot Logic is it's just a small hot plate. Okay, it doesn't get super duper hot, but it'll warm up your food. So I would never consider plugging this in while in flight because that is not safe. But if you're parked or if you're in a hotel room, doesn't have a microwave, or if you're waiting on a turn, right, deplane and boarding the packs, plug this in to the airplane somewhere, and it'll warm up your food. So a strategy I like to use, my wife will put the leftovers in small, I call them puck-sized leftovers, then we'll throw them in the freezer. So before a trip, I'll open up the freezer and there'll be like 10 pucks in there, and I'll just grab like 4 of them, put them in my bag. So they're kind of quasi ice packs / food.
Okay.
And then depending on how frozen it is, you drop into Hot Logic, plug it in, and an hour later you can eat it. This is huge. A lot of people have these, and I use a junk out of it. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't bring my. I usually just use Pyrex dishes. Like little cubes fit great in this guy, and I'll stack them vertically actually. But same thing, like you mentioned, either freeze one is the good play.
Yeah.
And that usually kind of goes in the middle. But and that's usually what I'll do as well. But I'm kind of a dry food guy during the day. I need a hot meal in the evening. I don't know if that's still Army in me, but
wait, you even MREs in here?
No.
Oh,
luckily. I just say that I don't generally like. I don't need a hot meal for lunch. I don't know. I generally eat like a sandwich or whatever. I'm on the road. That's just me though. But.
It's a little bougie. All right, what do you got in there?
Oh well, let's start simple. So there's a few things. Every company's a little bit different, but they're going to require you to have a few certain items. You notice, black is probably not our favorite color in the world, but that seems to be all the bags, and most airlines require something like that, anyways.
Yeah.
But one of the other things that every airline requires pilots have is a good old flashlight.
Nice.
So. Just a little one that works really well. I think this one's like 150 lumens or something like that.
Yeah.
Something pretty bright, or maybe off on that, 1500, something like that. But it's rechargeable.
Nice.
And pretty cheap. So, definitely a good flashlight. I assume you got one as
well?
well?
I got one in here as well. Again, it's something lumens, but I would say I'm going to give a shout out to Eric Sapita. He's like the only one that has like and he was trying to convince me of it too in true Eric fashion. Hello, Eric. Sapita. He's got like a lanyard keychain flashlight, and he's got an argument of like it's a flashlight and there's not a requirement for lumens, and he's not wrong. The general guidance is your cell phone camera's flashlight shouldn't count. Listen, go ahead and get a flashlight, right? You're a professional aviator, you're a professional pilot flying a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment. People are trusting you to do your job well. This is not the place to cut corners. So if you can tell me that you can see a deficiency on the top of the
top of the
tail at night with an iPhone, then you're lying. So take it seriously. Encouraging you with that. So I got a Coast. Like I said, it's a multi-different, super duper bright, but the battery recharges, right? So worst case, if the batteries die, you can ask your co-pilot, whatever. But if it is rechargeable, you can charge it on the flight or something. But definitely get a good flashlight for that pre-flight. So.
Yeah, this one's by Anchor. Sorry, I guess I didn't mention that before. And we're all required to have battery backups and stuff like that too for iPads and various things. So rechargeable is definitely key. One other little thing I got in here, starting small. You recognize these?
Oh, dude, let's go.
So
bro.
I'm curious.
Let's go,
who's got
bro.
what here? So. These things, we're showing a few things that are not expensive, not going to break the bank for you or, a gift you're buying for your aviator, but Kinder Fluff. They're just shades like you would put, for a kid in a car. And that's exactly what it is. They're just static cling to the window and absolutely perfect. They do make kind of dark ones and lighter ones. I recommend the dark ones, really going in spots to block out the sun. Exactly what it's meant for. So
another good Christmas gift for your aviator. So Kinder Fluff, because we care.
One.
That's their, I guess, brand. But yeah, same thing. They're little oval stickies. The darker ones are greater. I'm gonna butcher this fact, but something about an ozone and altitude and cancer and sun.
I think it's bad for you.
It's not good. So a lot of times, people will take either checklists or newspapers and put them up in the window. But they make these. They're inexpensive. If you can get them on your Amazon wish list, grab them. It's going to be helpful to you, especially with wear sunscreen and all that stuff. But you still need it.
Yeah.
Another one that another pilot brought me on was a Crystal Pilot.
Oh, so you're rocking both.
Rocking both.
Okay.
There's a couple reasons. So the Crystal Pilot, if you go on their website, they have custom cut shades for the side windows. So the Airbus 320, 321, they've got a shape window here and a shape window here, right? So these are cut for those windows.
Nice.
And then the stickies, the Kinder Fluff, I'll put those up front.
Okay.
Or if it's like in your face laser beam, I'll actually stack them. So I'll put the sticky and the Crystal because I'm mostly ginger.
Pale. Yeah.
I'm a little pale. Like I don't do well in the sun. So I try to layer that in just so I don't get that heat. But obviously below 18, you're gonna take them down in airspace surveillance. But these are great and they're cheap. They're great Christmas gifts. So Crystal Pilot, Kinder Fluff, check them out.
Yeah, they're real easy to rip down real fast if you need them for visibility. You know, even if at the flight levels, those when we're generally using these guys. You mentioned, the sun. Just while we're on it, a little. So I use a roll-on sunscreen just because if it gets squished in my bag, no issues. I don't know what you're rocking over there if you got it on you or not, but that's another great little cheap roll-on sunscreen. Not cheap roll-on, but a small little thing will do.
Yep, I use a face sunscreen / lotion because again I'm ginger, so yeah, I'm a little pale. It's Murad, MURAD. It's probably
probably has metal in the sunscreen, so it reflects it off.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter what the brand is. I will second what you said and definitely want to be wearing sunscreen because Google it or Chat GPT it, and it's being up at that altitude for that long is not great if you're in the sun. So take it seriously.
Looks like you got something else there again.
Reflective vest.
Yeah.
Yep, reflective vest. Definitely keep that in here as well. So
awesome. I know we could go on and on about the hundreds of things they bring. All the things. I'll just highlight a couple more things that I have in my flight bag that I bring up into the flight deck with me. Everybody's got a version of these, I think. But a little document holder goes a long way. So I've got my passport, my medical, my licenses, my FCC, everything kind of just all in one. This is great for jump seating as well because you can kind of just hand it all over. I think we're going to do a different segment later on jump seating,
on how to jump seat, like etiquette, what's right, how to do it. Yeah.
But this is a great one to be able to kind of just hand that off and make your check-in process a little bit quicker. Another good little thing: Band-Aids. A couple Band-Aids stashed throughout. That so you don't have to open the first aid kit. Your flight attendants will not like you very much if you got to open that thing.
Why? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Stack of pins. Everybody's got plenty of those guys. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh, so one other thing, another small little bag with all my electronics, so all the cords and things that my company requires me to carry.
Christmas gift. I don't have one.
It's a good one.
Christmas gift.
Keep that in mind, Landon family. And then some extra batteries are in there too. But speaking of batteries, I know I use a headset that takes batteries. But what are you carrying around?
You want to go through my stuff or my headset?
Let's do the cooler, or what do you got? Cooler bags?
Okay, so I'll go quick because I have, I'm kind of a nerd and I have things for reasons, different things. So first, cooler bag's great. It's separate from my flight deck bag.
Okay.
Just because I like to eat, and so I pack this thing full of the gills. And so I'll also have my headset internal to my flight deck bag, as well as like books, laptops, EFBs, etc.
So you just like carrying around weights?
I have like a little ruck with me, but so different things in this bag here. So we'll go quick. Some of them aren't. Some of them are just kind of tips, right? So the Hot Logic was one of them. The plug-in thing was pretty cool. One thing that I found was pretty cool recently is they have this squeezy peanut butter, and you have your fruit, and you can just eat like that, which is pretty nice. Another thing for your aviator, maybe for Christmas, is just things to mix in your water, right? So none of us have yet shown like a Nalgene or a Hydro Flask or what's the new hotness? We shot this in January of 24. The pink Stanley mugs or whatever.
Oh yeah, the Stanley.
Yeah, we don't. You generally don't bring. People do, but a lot of folks don't bring a water receptacle with them because you're going to get a water per leg, pretty much. There's water on the plane for you to use. But to mix it, right? So whether it's tea, instant coffee, liquid IV, Voost, what do you got?
Yeah, I got some electrolytes and emergency.
Yeah.
Because you're on the road a lot, dehydrated. So those are great little things to just stash in the bag. I think that's a great point.
Yeah, stocking stuffers, whatever you want like that. Meal replacement stuff. Shakeology, if people use like the Boost or Slim Fast. But because sometimes if you forgot to eat or if you're just, like, it's almost like an emergency. Like I forgot to eat. I ran out of snacks. I wanted food that's healthy. Slam that. All right. These are excessive items. I can skip them, or we can show it.
Fast, what you got?
It's a coffee. They're coffee things for the coffee experience.
I have to do a coffee video.
All right, we'll do a coffee video. This is next level, but everyone that I've shown it to is like, that is so cool, and I would be like, yeah, dude.
If you're like me, I'm not a big coffee guy. I don't know. I never got the bug when I was in the military.
And you're in the military?
I don't know how. Energy drinks did get me for a while, but I'm good now.
Shame, man.
I know.
Anyways, some folks will have their food in like a throwaway container container so they can throw them away and reduce their footprint and their weight. But I'm like Adam. I use the Pyrex and just try to rinse them out, wash them.
Yep.
Some of the overnights have the kitchens and stuff. So
you mentioned that too. Speaking of overnights, one last little thing, and I forgot to mention in my bag before.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is like an old school. You bump your head ice pack.
Calvin and Hobbes.
Get from what is it?
Calvin and Hobbes. Doesn't
Oh
he
yeah,
wear that?
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. What's up? I'm an 80s baby, 90s
aging
baby.
yourself. I'm just kidding. That's why I had to ask what it was. But yeah, super cheap, but they work great. They don't leak. You screw them on. And we mentioned hotels. Not all the hotel refrigerators are equal. Some have freezers, some don't. Whatever it is. But every hotel has an ice maker.
Yeah. And
so these things are great. Another great cheap gift idea for your aviator.
I'm going to get one because I was carrying around a little Yeti block because it's Yeti and it lasts for, once that melts, again, unless someone's found a way to refreeze it, I found myself just carrying around a liquid, semi-cold brick to where that is nice. So, but that's my cooler bag. Other than the coffee, we'll have to do an episode because it's for real. Like, if you're a coffee drinker, it changes.
You probably need your own video on that one.
And I'll need to get some legendary coffee to show you guys that, so we can have some actual good coffee up here. So
there you go. What
else?
Well, we mentioned. What else? What else do you carry in the flight deck with you?
So quickly, flight deck bag. Mine's different from my cooler bag because I eat an excessive amount of food. But generally, I just keep my EFB, laptops and books, electronic flight bag.
Okay.
It's an iPad.
Yeah,
it's an iPad.
There you go. That's
yeah.
what it is.
I don't know what acronyms are. Sunglasses, pens, gum, different things like that. Hand sanitizer, chapstick. But I actually keep my headset in here as well. So I have the Bose Pro Flight 2s. It was given to me as a gift. But they're the in-ear Bose. They got the noise canceling, the Bluetooth, which you don't use. I like them. Each I think it's universal across the airlines. Each airplane has its own headset. If you have your own, you don't have to worry about other folks' nastiness, like right here, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's no shame in that at all. I know for me, I'm like,
if you don't have to, you don't want to.
Yeah. The flight decks are quieter depending on what plane you fly. But again, going back to the Crystal Pilot, the Kinderfluff, and the sunscreen, like hearing is an issue. I had a buddy pilot of mine who was telling me he actually wears earplugs when they go headset off at cruise. And I said, why? And he said, because the little watch registers like 80, 85 decibels.
So it's still up there.
It's still up there. And so it's neither here nor there. The point being is that if you can get a good quality headset to kind of mitigate the loud noises, if you're in the military, you did it, why not keep doing it?
Yeah.
And also it kind of helps limit that stressor, especially when you're first getting started, of not being able to hear.
Yep.
Because things are quick.
Communication
and you got it turned up, and then it's like you're confused, and what did he say? And now do yourself a favor, get a good headset so you can hear what's going on, be relaxed, tranquilo, and do your job.
Did you buy that just for the airlines, or did you use that before?
I did. I used it just for the airlines. I got the XLR plug because knew the Airbus hookup was that way. I actually have a dongle, but in the opposite direction, so go into GA.
Okay.
So I'll use that flying general aviation a couple times. But I like it. I know the over the ear is great, but I mean, I can't risk.
No, you can't.
I can't risk. With the hard part, like it's not something I'm willing to do. So
yeah, Tristan is watching this. He'll know he's got the flow too. But
yeah, exactly.
I went a little different style than you. So I normally same thing. If I can fit it in my bag, depending on how long the trip is, I'll keep it in my bag as well. I gotta reach in the bag of goodies, but I went with just the traditional Bose A20s. If it is too long of a trip or something like that, I'd also have a carabiner just to strap it to the outside of the bag. But other than the EFB cooler combo, this is the only other thing I take in the flight deck, and exact same reason. The company I work for does have headsets. They sometimes work great, sometimes they don't. It really just invest in a good quality headset. But I still got the 2-prong. Not an Airbus guy yet. We'll see.
Let's go.
But I can use this GA or 121 World, the airline world. So real simple, but over the ear. But I don't have to worry about the flow. I don't have
Just
that
saying,
going
man,
on,
it's all about the flow. I did have a Clarity Aloft set. Brian Early, shout out to Brian, gave me. Brian, as you know, my car was broken into, and a lot of my stuff was stolen. A lot of it, that headset included.
Oh my gosh.
But I had it is what it is. it was a Clarity Aloft headset. It was very minimalist.
Yeah.
It was like a wire that went here, and then they had the small. When I say wire, I mean like a piece of metal, right?
Yeah.
And they had the CEPs.
Yeah.
Like legit Army CEPs, which you could get as needed. Obviously, you'd pay for them at the store, like everyone should do. Those were great. It wasn't noise canceling. It didn't do the Bluetooth, I don't think, but it was a great headset.
Yeah.
Super low profile.
They're fairly common out there as well, especially for commuters. I mean, you mentioned we both have commuted for different times at different periods and things like that. And the smaller you can get things, a lot of times that's much easier. And those Clarity Lofts are pretty popular with commuters for sure.
But don't bring the David
skimp on
Clarks.
it.
Don't do sorry, I meant to say when I said David Clarks, I mean like the Army David Clarks with the coily. David Clarks actually makes a really good headset. We went to a conference and we were comparing the Bose and the Clarity and the David Clarks, and they were all. It's pretty much like, well, which one do you like better, right? But they all sounded the same. They were great. So David Clark's is a great headset. A lot of guys wear it. I was just referring to the helicopter ones with
the bigger,
the MTP
big,
rolls up
huge
and
cups
yeah. I will say I've been looking for, and then we'll be done with the headset part. There was one I was jump seating on one aircraft, I forget who it was, Southwest or Delta, and this dude had this old fashioned like single ear thing with the
telemarketer style.
Yeah, and I was like, that's awesome.
That's
like.
Nice.
I don't know if I'm like there yet in terms of like situational awareness. Like I kind of need to hear everything, but I'm like in terms of like I'm awesome pilot status. Like he definitely had that. He had the shades on. Like it was.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, he was really getting it.
Yeah,
so.
we didn't cover any lenses and stuff this time. I didn't bring them with me, but we'll cover those in the future too.
Yeah, we got a bunch of other stuff, but we just want to do the big ticket things. Maybe on another part. I actually have this bag packed.
Okay.
To show how a person packs just as you're going through. There's a couple nuggets in here too. So
yeah, I like that. But I mean, that pretty much, did you have anything else that you bring into the flight deck with you? Or so we got EFB bags with obviously some trinkets inside and then a cooler for each of us. Mine's combined and you got 2 bags and yeah, pretty much covers everything
just
in the flight deck with us.
Good attitude and all my limitations and memorized and my flows and a good spirit. Some good spirit there. So, but that's it. Cool, man.
Broad girl, whiskey's gonna ease my mind. Beach towel dress on the drying line.